Hi, everyone. I was meeting with somebody talking about what's going on in their organization and talking about what's going on them as an executive leader in the company. And I dropped a statistic, which I take for granted. And this executive actually stopped me, said, whoa, 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 back up the train. I want to hear more about that. So I realized I put so much content out into the world and I talk on these videos so many times. I often miss how important some of these key pieces are that I think would be very useful for you to know as a leader. So the first thing, I just want to preface this by saying the best way to create organizational change, the best way to create more innovation, to retain your top talent, to create great leadership performance, sales, bar none, over and over and over again, is for you personally as a leader, as an executive, as an employee, whoever's watching this, is for you personally to take full command of your intentional energetic presence and your intentions, energy, and presence that you bring to your life. Hard stop. That's it. That's the best way to do this. You can't control what anybody else is going to do. You can't control what anybody else is going to, how they're going to behave. You can't control anything. So the best thing that you've got control over is your own autonomy and authority in how you show up. So I just want to preface that. Now, this is the statistic that I mentioned to this particular person. I was telling her that what we've noticed in the last couple of years is that when people come to this work, a very large percentage of them are looking to actually leave their company. So a lot of times when people come to ACI, or specifically, especially to me as an advisor, when they come to me privately or even my coaching team, they will be looking to leave their organization because what they're noticing is that they're exhausted. They're trying to create culture change. They're trying to create different dynamics in the company, and they're just not really getting anywhere. So it's either exhausting for them. They're noticing the environment is toxic, for lack of a better word, and they feel like they've exhausted all options of what they can actually do to change it. And two things happen. So we will literally have people come into sessions or come to me privately or us privately, and they will say, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave my company. I'm going to leave my marriage, potentially. This has happened several times. I'm going to fire my team, like something very, very big and life-changing that they're going to do that's going to have a major impact on their organization, their life, et cetera, et cetera. So they come in with that stance. That's what they're going to do. That's their intention, is to figure out how they're going to move out of it and how they're going to exit the building in the next part of their life. So that's one side of it. What often happens is that those people will often realize in doing this work that there is more that they could have done, or there's more they can be doing to save their marriage, save their team dynamics, communicate more clearly, get clearer and more intentional about the culture and the dynamics they're creating in the organization, affect their leadership team, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of times when they come in and they're ready to leave, they actually shift and instead figure out like, oh, actually, I'm kind of part of the problem. There's something I could be doing here. The way that I'm showing up is creating some of these dynamics that are having me want to exit the building. So they'll shift. And it's incredible. And it's really exciting when that happens. So we talk about that a lot in the IEP work. We take ourselves with us everywhere we go. So if you ever notice, you may be feeling like there's a lot of stuff that's not going great, your relationships, your work, your whatever it might be. If you look at the common denominator, it's you, which congratulations, that means you're the part of the problem, but you're also the solution. You literally are the solution. So that's one side. Now here's the other side that I take for granted. A lot of people that come to this work and do the work, after they've been in their organizations trying to integrate this work, really getting clear about what's important to them, how they're showing up, what their core values are, how precious their leadership energy is, how precious their life force is, how precious their energy is to be activating towards things that they care about. A lot of times, those people, after they do this work, if they stay in that organization or they go back to the organization, a lot of times those people will leave. And the thing that really clicked for me this last week was I was looking at past companies we've done this work with, and some of the strongest people who've really top performers who were crushing it in terms of their intentions and what they could do for the companies and their performance. Like, these were top performers. And a very large amount of those people have actually left their companies because they found that once they got clearer for themselves and they gave it 100%, they still couldn't make the change in their organizations. And these organizations, there's definitely a theme about what kinds of organizations these are. But the thing I want you to have is is you're thinking about this and you're thinking about your high performers and you're saying you want to retain your high performers, you have to be looking at, are you tending to your own IEP? Are you tending to the IEP of the organization? Are you giving your people, your leaders who maybe are starting to really practice great IEP, are you giving them the space and the grace and the lean in that is required to help them actually help your organization be even better? So let me just hone it down to two things. One, people come into this work, they're ready to absolutely bolt on their situation, blow everything up. They're fed up, they're done. They do the work and they go, oh my gosh, actually, I'm a part of the problem. There's a lot I can do here. And a lot of times those people go back to their organizations, go back to their marriages, go back to whatever their business partnerships, and it changes. It changes drastically, even without people around them doing the work. So that happens all the time. The other side of that is people come to this work. The rest of the organization, their leadership team, their peers, whatever, they don't jump on board with this. And they don't actually start to really tend to what needs to happen to create real, authentic culture change and authentic collaboration and connection and healthy leadership. They don't do that. And then your high performers leave. But if you send people to IEP and they're your high performers, like we want to do that. We want to do that because it's contagious. They go back, they're going to ripple it throughout your company. But if you send them and you as a leader are not willing to do your own work and you're not paying attention to the energy of the organization and the energetic dynamics of what's happening, you're probably going to lose your high performers. And even if you don't send them to IEP, you're going to lose your high performers. So your high performers are very much in tune with what's important to them, what their purpose is, what energy feels like, what it feels like to be congruent. And if you don't tend to that, you're going to lose your high performers. If you are a leader inside an organization and you're feeling super, super frustrated and you just can't seem to make any change and you just want to blow everything up, please, please, please come and do the IEP work with my team and I before you make those decisions. Let's see what else is there for you before you make big decisions. You've got to be tuned into yourself. You got to be in right relationship with yourself. You got to be present. You got to create some space. So our sessions, our events, they create that space. So please do that for yourself first. Second part of that is that if you're in an organization and you're having a hard time keeping your high performers and you're having a hard time retaining your workforce and you've got a lot of turnover going on and it just feels icky, please consider how the energy in the organization, consider how that's impacting your workforce. Please consider how you as a leader, you as an executive, you as a leadership team are showing up and perpetuating whatever cycles you're seeing in your organization that are not helpful to you. I promise you, there is so much great work to be done here, but it really has to start with you, whoever is listening to this right now, you as a leader starting to really pay attention to, okay, where am I? Am I about to blow things up? Am I ignoring things? Where am I? What can I do about it? What am I actually doing about it? And how is my presence affecting everything that is happening in my life and in my company? If this is of interest to you, please feel free, reach out. Let's set up a call. Let's talk about how this work could be helpful to you. Think about, let's talk about how we might help you, either you personally as an executive or your executive team or your entire workforce. Let's talk about it. The stuff that we've been doing up until this point is not working, not necessarily. In some cases it is, which yay, I'm so happy, but I'm noticing there's pieces that are missing in almost every single consult, every single conversation. We can always drill it back down to what we're talking about here, which is the intentional energetic presence of the leaders, the executive team, and the organization as a whole, and how that is affecting everything in the company. This is so exciting because that is completely addressable, but it starts with you. So excited. You have all the power for that. I hope you'll take it. Okay. Have a beautiful day and we will see you soon. Bye.